UDA SG.
Yeah.
What do you make of some leaders from UDA supporting other candidates in the Senate by-election?
They made such bad decisions. Institutions of political parties are institutions of democracy. Parties are built on the strength of its membership complement. This party today, we don't like to say it like our colleagues, is the biggest party in the country. It has the most expansive political infrastructure. This party is building physical infrastructure. We have built in to our programs our ideological infrastructure. Before you pick a war with this party, you must go and consult God in the evening, so that when you come, you do know that there are consequences to picking a war with your party, especially from within. So if they are very brave, Khalwale, Seki, the elections coming up again. Karis forfeited his seat. We lost the Isiolo Member of Parliament, if you recall, Isiolo South, and his son has joined us in the UDA party. So if they are brave, if they're the men they say they are, because they are elected, I'm asking them to resign from the party and face us in an election when these other elections are being run. Kama wewe sijui ni Masai warrior wa ukweli, wacha kuwa paper tiger. Unajificha nyuma, unajaribu kutupiga vita na hii DCP yako tumekushinda ndani ya Purko. I'm aware Seki was supporting the opponent. Khalwale was supporting the opponent. Others were supporting the opponent. But you see, at least others like the ones in let's say Garissa, Fafi, they were supporting an opponent from within. The Member of Parliament was supporting an opponent from Fort Kenya. That is at least, there's mitigation in that. Again, if you are supporting an opponent and you think you are that brave and that popular, run, resign. Raila Odinga once upon a time, when he decided that his place was no longer Fort Kenya, he resigned and ran for his Langata seat on an NDP ticket. Sasa huyu kama wewe ni bullfighter, kama wewe sijui ni Masai warrior, Moran sijui of the first class, resign. Face UDA in an election in the next. In fact, that guy said ako na rungu yake, he desecrated that rungu ati akiona mtu ya UDA atapiga hiyo. Don't beat watu wa UDA na rungu yako. Toka UDA. Enda simama na sisi. In fact, I'm inviting him to a contest. Aone. You know, this is cowardly. One of our esteemed former senators, I am reliably informed, has become a blogger. I am told she is posting bile, telling us how to run this party. I saw a message, she said, take it to the bank. UDA will lose. Sijui Baringo, sijui UDA. You could not even protect yourself from losing a seat in court. How do you predict what we will lose? This is political formation led by William Ruto, one of the most accomplished politicians and leaders in this country. In fact, I think there are only two of a kind, the late Raila and himself. So, those who dare us, there are consequences to it. So I'm asking Boni, he's my good friend by the way. Boni is one of my mentors in politics. In fact, I would want us to test him. Aende atukue tikiti ya DCP asimame. Ni DCP ama ni DAPK? Yeah, DAPK asimame. Tujaribu. Seki aende akachukue DCP asimame. We are ready for this by-election. Sini kupimana nguvu. They are bidding their time, wanting us to negotiate with them. Some of them, you are saying that they are willing to talk to William Ruto because they think they are kingpins of their regions. You can't use blackmail on this government and this leadership. That one will not happen. So we're asking you in good faith, kina Methu alisema sijui atavua nguo He said something. What did he say?
Resign.
Ata resign. Mwambie resign. I thought he said he was going to strip naked. I was like, I don't know where I heard that from. Yeah.
James from the Standard newspaper.
Yes.
When you look at the win in Malava and the margin, what is your comment on that?
Seth Panyako lost to Malulu Injendi by 2,000 votes in 2002. Those are 2022. Those are the dynamics. Ruku won with less than 1,000 votes against the UDA candidate, then Jagagwa. Those are the margins in those constituencies. You know, analysis is based on data. And if you look at Mbere, that's how people have won that seat historically. In fact, if you look at Embu politics, people win with very narrow margins. Even our governor won with a narrow margin, but the votes went to William Ruto. It doesn't mean that they will divide the votes the same way. The presidential dynamics are different. But it's just that once somebody said it's his bedroom, he went and shouted like a juvenile. Ati sijui mtu alisema atakuja kuwakojolea na helicopter. Do you people ever listen to this man? Is it even right for some of you to put it in your media houses? You know, if you know that, at least I want to commend the church. The church had realized that the only thing Rigiji does is to wake up on a Sunday morning to go to a church pulpit and say bad things. Most of them have stopped him. You've seen that for yourself. It's for you to take public notice, judicial notice of. If some of you also can stop, some of you I see you go na hizo vipindi zenu, mnamweka microphone, sijui mnamfanyia ile cosmetic, ati mnataka kuminterview usiku. Mnaona mnafanya kitu ya maana, ati mnatafuta viewership. Have a philosophy for this country. There are things that you must not do to this country. That's why some of us these days are getting a bit more worn out coming to media houses, because you come to a media house and you find yourself, you've been put in a panel with somebody and you're wondering, how do we relate? Because you guys are looking for viewership. Me, I'm looking for a healthy discussion based on informed discourse. Me, I'm not looking for viewership. I have, when I used to be in KCHR, I used to live in the TV. So it's no longer that big a challenge. I know I can do a good talk show, but also pair people with people who can have constructive discussions with. You pair us with people who their only sense is their Twitter handles. Unaenda mahali umewekwa kwa debate na panel na Twitter handle, unamwona kwa Twitter. So suddenly the media has thought it wise that this now man or woman is a big influencer. Yet there is no ideology. You know, some of us when we were younger, when I was in the student movement, I exuded Marxism. We believed in social economic transformation, which what you see today, to return the means of capital within the masses, or means of production. That's what we advocated for, an equal and fair society where everybody was dignified, right to housing, right to food, right to shelter, right to education. These are the things you see now. But nowadays, the content creation. In fact, I know sometimes people look for me, I've seen it once or twice, to say, tell me something very bad. And then anasema ameni-inject. Anaenda nakata hiyo kadogo na trend. Ati I injected the SG of the ruling party. Wewe unafikiria ku-inject mimi ni rahisi? Kuja kwa discussion.
Finally, from the opposition is blaming UDA for the violence in Malava. What is your opinion on that?
You know, politicians perpetuate violence. You know, I saw a very disturbing video of how low we have sunk. Today, even if I caught you on the wrong, ngumi moja mbili maybe, unfortunately, is not even right itself. Sindio? But to strip someone and then post it on the social media handle, and then you shout about everything, and then you say people are violent, sijui nasema Ruto achukue kila kitu, then you wail, like, in this politics, you don't wail. Sijui kwa nini huyu jamaa huyu na Malala kila wakati wanalialia. Hiyo naenda kulia kwa keja. Natoa machungu yote kija hapa unakuwa umekamua machozi nje. So politicians perpetuate this violence. And people sometimes act in self-defense. But as a party we condemn it. As a party we don't tolerate violence of any kind. But it's been in the nature of our politics in some areas that violence was even meted on my people master. Do you know I did my pupillage under one Kaluma when I used to be a pupil at Kaluma, Muma and Lumumba Advocates. He was my pupil master. He was beaten. He cannot have been us who beat him. So if you see the opposition came with an intent to disrupt, but the government had its structures to ensure that the elections proceeded in a situation that was peaceful, free and fair.
SG, my name is Ndubi from Nation.
Yeah, I've read you before. Yeah. You once also sent me a message to text. Na sasa wewe nataka mimi nikujibu watu wananiletea mimi message hata sijui can you comment. Wewe vipi Ndubi? Si nililenga. Leo sitolenga because you're here in person.
Yeah, there are claims about voter bribery that the United Opposition is saying that most of these candidates proceed to one through voter bribery in polling stations.
Waweza ngapeleka hiyo kwa court. I'm not the one who tests evidence. But truth be told, there is this gentleman called Stephen Leto. He posted some of these polls. Some of those polls were accurate. There is science. Our campaigns is supported by science. You will see areas that UDA didn't even set foot. Because the science had told us, hapa hakuna kura yenu. Na yeye sasa we are looking for votes. We'll come to you when we are building the nation, whether you're in our party or not. So a lot of people spend a lot of time campaigning in the opponent's stronghold. So you will see, as you know, UDA, you register through a public portal. So unajua, hata wewe sasa unaweza kuwa, you can be somewhere and just register as a UDA member. You can decide to pay as a candidate. And we have an obligation legally, once you have paid as a candidate, if you are the only one who's applied for it, to run you, unless otherwise. Kama vile we decided in Magarini. So we issued these tickets, but there are areas we never even, because we thought either a coalition partner stood a better chance or we stood no chance. So the outcome is exactly what the opinion polls had indicated. My brother, you can pay as much as you want, but ultimately, when you are faced with the ballot, you are by yourself, Ndubi. The last time I checked, unless you're an assisted voter, nobody knows which side you have voted on. Any one or two more, or any question? But this is one of the few times, I'll not say who, I have been giving a conference, and the person who's been agreeing with me most is one of the guys in the media. So I hope I get a very positive story from you. I'll be finding out which media house you come from. So because wajua kawaida media show no emotions, they don't clap, they don't laugh, but there was one who was agreeing with me. Kama anasema hii ni point, hii ni point, and I kept speaking because I can see he was nodding on and on. So anyway, that's said and done. I want to wish Kenyans a happy December. It starts next week. Those will be mashujaa, we will honor you. Alafu tuingie Christmas, mujichunge. As Kibaki says, musikunywe sana. Na mujichunge, musende mbio sana na magari. Alafu baada hapo, tukuje New Year, tuendelee na mipangilio ya serikali na ya kiraia na ya kitaifa.